Now, so Darsan?
Yeah.
Just don't say Darsan.
Darsan, your mom's Jewish?
Yes.
So does that make you officially Jewish?
It does. I'm a black Jew.
Are you practicing? Do you go to temple and whatnot?
I did it until my bar mitzvah, and I cashed out, and I was like, okay, I'm good.
Pretty Jewish. It's pretty Jewish.
Is that basically like the path of that's like where your typical kind of secular Jew like gets to because that's like a Christian confirmation, right? It's like when you're a kid, like you're raised in the faith, and then it kind of culminates in the bar mitzvah, and then you can, as you say, cash out. And
it's I was more raised reform, where it was basically my parents and I kind of decided that temple was really boring, so we didn't go. But they sent me to Jewish camp, which I learned all my dirty humor because I was the only black person there. And then so I came back, and then the bar mitzvah still seemed like a good.
Do you have a good Jewish joke for us from Jewish camp?
God, I've used them so many times.
Are you saying I didn't quite make that connection because you were the only black kid at Jewish camp? They all told you their dirty jokes, or
it's basically I was like, for a lot of them, I was the first black person they'd ever met because most of them went to Jewish school. So they were trying to see what they could get away with, and I was so willing to push the envelope that they got away with everything.
Like they were coming up to you and saying, like, "Hey, did you hear the one about the black guy and the rabbi?" Or what were they? What can you give me an example of something really specific you remember?
There were a lot of back of the oven comments.
Whoa!
Jesus! Jesus!
Get to the back of the oven?
That came out of the grassy knoll. Like I've been picturing like these 6th grade kids. Like I'm like, what does your hair feel like? And they're like, what?
But also, let's notice. Let's go, hit playback if you're listening to this to the laughter to outrage ratio.
And it's because Jewish women are famous for their cooking. Is that the? No. Okay.
Well, okay. Here's the best example. So
I want 100 of these.
So I was talking with my counselor, and he was asking me about the origin of my parents, like how they met. He was like, "Oh, it's like so, who's black, your mom or your dad?" Because I'm mixed. And I said, "Oh, my mom's white. She's from Utah originally. My dad's black. He's from Trinidad." And he was asking more, and he said, "Oh, so how did they meet?" And I said, "Oh, they had a mutual friend. They met at a restaurant." Uh-oh. And he goes, "Oh, was your dad cleaning up?"
Now, do you think that
was he? Was he?
In your memory, do you think that kid? Your memory may be wrong, it may be right, but do you remember that as the kid knew what he was doing, or or do you think he was being naive, or was he like really trying to like shiv you, was he being diabolical? Because it doesn't seem like kids are even smart enough to be that vile.
Well, first off, that wasn't a kid, that was my counselor.
Oh.
So he had a few years on me.
Oh, okay.
He knew much more about the world than I did.
Was he trying?
I missed that part.
He was trying to be funny though, right?
Yeah. And it was, because I was crying, I was laughing so hard. And meanwhile, all the other staff who heard were just kind of standing there,
he was just being like Don Rickles. He was just laying it on you hard, and which shows a level of respect, to deal it out that hard.
Yeah. Let's not give this guy too much of a pass. I think it shows a level of respect for him to not let it push his button, but I think he could be a better camp counselor than that.
No, I honestly think racism's hilarious.
Well, you're allowed to. Like you have to and are allowed to. Like we could use with a few less people thinking it's that hilarious that they would tell that joke to a kid. They're like, we could condemn this guy and get away with it. He's a shitty guy. Bad move. Bad humor move.
I love bad humor, so.
I thought that was pretty funny.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you have any other jokes because there's certain I don't like racial jokes, and I don't like jokes where people lose. I don't like I was at a bar a few days ago, and everyone at the end of the bar was telling like gross the pedophile jokes. They're usually not funny. They're just kind of just gross. like humor when somebody loses is usually a bummer. However, there's a rare instance.
What do you mean by that? You mean what do you mean by that?
Where the butt of the joke is because that guy's black, so he's an idiot, or because that guy's Polish, or because she's a woman, or she's blonde, or whatever.
Right.
Like those are like as,
you got two claps from
that was from Lowenbrow guy.
It's from a black Polish woman.
I think like Groucho Marx, the great Groucho Marx was always approached because he was a famous funny person. Throughout his life, he was always approached by people, by coarse assholes at a restaurant or a bar on the street, and say, "Oh, I'm a funny guy too. You'll love this one. Two Jews and a black guy going." Like, and he would always stop people and say, "Take the ethnicity out of it, because if it's a funny joke, it doesn't need it. Just say three guys."
Right.
If the joke needs the race, it's not funny. Like try the joke with just two guys, or a guy, or a girl. Like if it's a funny joke, doesn't need it. But I've known like loads of like old school Jewish comics, and they'll tell you some old Jew jokes which are fucking funny, but it has to be an old Jew telling you the joke.
Well, I think that
that like kind of gives like the stamp of approval in a way.
I think it's
but it has to be Jewish, otherwise you're just like, oh, that guy's a fucking asshole.
It comes from a place of just like of silliness and not about like from the outside. Like the great Sam Simon, who just passed away. Like he told me a bunch of jokes. One I love. He goes, a black guy. We're talking about the racism in jokes, or race in jokes. And he goes, so here's one. He goes, a black guy, Irish guy, Jewish guy go into a bar. And the black guy says to the bartender, I'm hot, I'm tired, I'm thirsty, I got to have a Courvoisier. So the bartender gives him a Courvoisier, he drinks it down. The Irish guy goes to the bartender, says, bartender, I'm hot, I'm tired, I'm thirsty, I've got to have a Guinness. The bartender gives him a Guinness, he drinks it down. The Jewish guy says, bartender, I'm hot, I'm tired, I'm thirsty, I got to have diabetes.
Yeah, see, that's yeah, that one's on the bubble because the punchline isn't anti-Semitic.
No,
the punchline is there's a Jewish guy telling you the joke, and it's kind of like the flavor of Jewish culture, like comedy. The problem is that in order to tell it, you have to have two other races set it up, and the black guy has to order a Courvoisier and then just be forgotten for the rest of his life. That guy was just born into this fictional world, and he's like, "What's my job?" And God's like, "Order a Courvoisier." Oh yeah, I couldn't be Irish? No, you couldn't. Trust me. Just don't worry about it. Fuck.
I like.
I want to hear you. I want to hear you retell that joke, Dan, because I know your gift for telling.
All right, go ahead. Do it. All right, a black guy, an Irish guy, and a Jewish guy go into a bar, and the bartender says, "What can I get you?" And the black guy says, "Bartender, I'm hot. I'm thirsty." There was a third.
Tired.
Okay. I'm hot and tired. I'm thirsty. I gotta have a Courvoisier. And the bartender says, okay. Gives him one. And then the Irish guy says, bartender, I'm hot. I'm tired. I'm thirsty. I got to have my Bailey's Irish cream. Give him one. And the Jewish guy says, bartender, I'm hot. I'm tired. I'm thirsty. I gotta have diabetes. I didn't want to break the tape at the finish line. I crawled under it. Like,
we were at a bar.
Shouldn't be in this race.
I don't know if you know Jay Johnston from Mr. Show and the Sarah Silverman program, who's hilarious. We were out with Jerry Minor and Brandon Johnson, who are two awesome friends of ours in black comics, and Jay was doing race jokes just to piss them off, and they were just glowering at him.
Who was
Jerry Minor and Brandon, and they were just giving it like rustic in. This is years ago. And they're like, I don't think that's funny, man. Like you're not making me laugh. Like, why are you telling these jokes? And I said, like, I don't really think that race jokes are funny. However, there's one joke I think it's only funny if the guy is black. And Jerry and Brandon just give me a look like, all right, go, tell me the joke. And I said, I think this joke is only funny if the guy's a black guy. And so the black guy's walking around a Cadillac dealership, and he's looking at the cars, and the guy that works there comes out and says, excuse me, sir, are you thinking about buying a Cadillac? And the guy says, no, I know I'm buying a Cadillac. I'm thinking about pussy. Right, Darsan? Fucking loves it. Fucking loves it.
He'll laugh at anything. Your atonement will be with the public on when the free podcast drops.
No, my thing
Dear
about race
Mr.
jokes is
Davis.
it has to be like if it's not like something like openly discriminating and like it just like it's like circumstantial. Like it is funny that like that joke worked because
because he's high status. He's like he's going to get a car and he's going to go get laid later on. He's not low status.
I don't think he's that high status. I don't think he's that high status. I think the joke is like it plays into a stereotype that he's a black guy. He's gonna get a Cadillac because he thinks he's gonna get him laid. It's kind of like looking down at him as a consumer. Like he's it's a stereotype, you know. It's like you walk away from that joke, you laugh at it, and then you go, ha, yeah, those black people. They love Cadillacs because they think it gets them pussy, and it's like you shouldn't be thinking that walking away from a joke. You should be thinking I love humanity. That was your point. You didn't like it when people lose, but you're having a stereotype reinforced. The Jewish guy saying I gotta have diabetes. Again, like I said, it's on the bubble. I don't know.
No, for me, I walk away from that joke thinking, it parodied a stereotype. Also, let me know that is a stereotype and know not to believe it necessarily.
Yeah, but you may have been just taught about it by the joke. Like, where do we even know about that stuff if it wasn't from jokes? I don't know. It's not like it's an important debate because it's not what I've learned in the later years of my life is that we got to stop thinking about it. Like, because I always used to think like, because I was a big freedom of speech guy, so no matter what, I'd be like, well, what are we gonna do? Like, it's not about making anything illegal. It's not about taking any rights away. Like, you can still have a separate conversation about what is culturally beneficial and what makes people happy and what elevates you as a person and stuff. And but it doesn't. What do I care? I don't care. I don't care. I'm white. I'm going home to play Witcher 3. How about that stereotype?
Do you like it?
Yeah, I'm white. Love Witcher 3.
I'm half white, so I can.
You can like
understand.
the first 3 levels. I like it a lot. It's like Skyrim. It's like a bigger, better Skyrim. But I fucked up. I got it on Xbox, and the load screens are really long. And I already bought a really expensive gaming PC, and I could have just downloaded it on Steam and played it. I've already done this, and it works. And I didn't fucking get it on Steam, and I'm very upset with myself. It's not important.